Hey you guys, I'm jumping on real quick. I just want to show you a technique that I am playing with today from the Clique Kit. This is actually an add-on and it came with these four little inks as well as this cute little stamp and then also this really fun lace and ribbons. But for this technique, I'm going to be using the gel press plate that I got in another one of their kits. I showcased that on the 1st of April. And then the inks in this. So all you need, you don't even need a brayer for this. You need your inks. I'm using copy paper. If you want to add more water than what I'm adding, then you're going to want to go with a heavier mixed media paper. Excuse my doorbell. And then a little bit of water. This is so easy to do. All you have to do is you're just going to layer the color on. So I'm first just going to take it all over like so, layer it on like that, then just press my paper into the ink. And then from there, I get that. Pretty cool. So you can actually take and just do that again, like so. And I'm going to just turn the page this time this way, like this. And then I am going to pull it up. And the pink, you want to layer on according to the intensity and brightness or lightness of your color. Clearly that one, the pink is not showing up as much because my cantaloupe was a lot more vibrant. And then I'm going to take this lilac one. And for this one, I'm just going to do a couple lines, mist it with a little bit of water. And this is when it can get a little bit soppy. Pop it on, and it's going to create a little bit more texture on this, which is going to be cool because of the water. Pull it up and see, now I have a little bit of that texture. Then you can take like this teal one, you can do different types of, like you can twist it in and that will give you some fun different designs on it. And I'm just going to take this now and pop this one on, and then we'll move on to another one, just do another sample. So that is how you can use ink on your paper. And I'm going to take and just make sure that I lifted all of that ink up before I move on. As you can tell, there's some ghost imaging, and I can totally lay down more ink on top of this because it does dry relatively quick. You want to be a little bit careful not to contaminate your ink pads. So for this one, I'm just going to first take and do this beautiful, this is called Angel Pink. And then I'm going to do let's do the cantaloupe on the bottom, like so. And then I'm going to just lay it down. And then I always want to pull it and then flip it over like so. Boom. And then the next one, I will just take some of this beautiful lilac posies and just do circles all over the place. Just twist, 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 like so. Pull up some of that circle. I have a circle right there. Boom. Get some fun texture going. Really fun. And then I will end it off with just taking my teal, just did like a backwards 7 on it. Let that kind of move around a little bit. I can even take my brush and brush it through if I want. That'll create some more interesting things on this paper. Voila. So ink on this is so much fun. It is so much fun to do ink on this gel press plate. Then I want to show you something else. This is another one of a stencil that I just got. So I'm going to show you real quick with some a brayer and then just the dilution paint that I got from the kit as well. So what you're going to want to do on this one is you're first going to just want to brayer out a particular design, whatever, Always keep your brayer on its back. You don't want to keep it on its belly, or else it'll not, it'll start to get flat. So always keep it on its back. All right, and I'm just gonna lay this down. I always take my brayer and just brayer over the back. I don't care if I get paint back there. Sometimes I end up really liking what that looks like better than what the front looks like. All right, and then I pull that one, which is really cool. And then let me grab, let's see if I can't grab another ghost off of this. We'll see. But again, this is copy paper, so we're just totally plain right now. You can use the hand or the brayer, whatever. But I want to get that relatively lifted and clean. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to layer on some of this stencil. And so for this one, I don't want to get mud. This paper is still a little bit wet. So I'm just going to heat set it a little bit. You have to be respectful of your color family when you are doing any kind of wet mixing of mediums, because if you mix a warm with a cool, you will potentially get mud, especially if you do more than 2 colors. Like, you can successfully mix red and yellow together because that creates orange, but if you were to mix red and green together, you're going to get mud. So you want to keep in your color families. The exception is purple. Purple will always give you mud. It only can be mixed with red or blue. If you mix purple with yellow, you're going to get mud. So for this next one, I'm actually going to lay out that same color palette that I did, like so. And we're going to get some fun prints from this. You just watch. All right. So I'm going to use this stencil and just start to lay out that color right there, pull in that red. All right. And then from here, I'm going to take this, lay it on top, and then I'm going to take this one right here, this first one, lay it on top, because sometimes you can get a pull from that stencil, which I did. I got some fun type pulls. So now I'm going to take that up, and then I'm going to want to wash this later, but I'm not real concerned about it. And now we're going to pull this like this, and I can take what I just did, rotate it over to give myself double print, or I could put another piece of paper on top and roll this over the one where the bottom one catches that gel press print. And then I can get 3 prints from one layer of paint. So not much going on there. That's okay. I love that. Okay, so from here, I'm actually going to work more with this, and I want to just see if I can't pick up some more of this. It might be on there. I love it when you're able to lift some of the bits and stuff from other gel press play sessions that you have. You know, I like the leftover paint on it. So I'm actually going to start to pull in some other colors with this. I'm going to go into my cool color family, which is going to be my blue and green. So I'm just going to do some blue, do some green, and I'm going to layer this actually on top of that one that we just did, and hopefully it'll be dry enough where it will be okay. It won't be that big of a deal. And I'm going to throw on here just some circles that I have so that you can see that pop of color through. And this will also create some fun like pieces that I can put, like embellishment pieces that I can put on as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, brayer out that back. Let's see here. A little bit muddy. See what I mean about trying to respect that color family? It's a little bit important that we respect it, but Check out how cool that is. So you can get some really fun embellishment pieces on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just layer this one on for some ghost pulling. And that one not so much mud because it's dry and it just layers up real nice. All right, so let's go ahead and just work with some, let me take an embossing. Okay, so I'm going to use this embossing folder on the gel press plate right now. All right, and I do have a video coming that showcases more of this. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to actually use my cherry pie, blue Hawaiian, and laid back lilac on this. So I'm going to start off with my cherry pie first, just to give a nice coverage here, I think. All right, so let me take my copy paper and just go ahead and put that down. And again, if you don't want to brayer over the back because you don't want to get your back mixed up, then by all means don't do what I'm doing. I really like to do it this way. And as you can see, there is a little bit of that green in there, which is so cool. And then the next I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to put this on. And I'm actually going to smoosh my embossing folder into this. Now I may need to add some more blue. It's always better to go lighter handed than heavy handed whenever you're playing with a gel press plate, because too much paint doesn't allow your brayer to roll. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pop it over, I think on this side. Press that in. So hopefully that'll give me the impression of those flowers. And then I'm going to pop this on right on over it once again. Brayer it on out. I'm already starting to get some purple with that. That's really cool. And then I'm going to finish it off with some laid back lilac on top. And I'm really not going to go for a ton of coverage here. That to me looks about right. And I'm going to take some more of these and just pop them on. Just random order. And then pop this on over like so. Rub that on through. Then voila. So you can get a whole bunch of fun prints just by finding stuff on your desk. I mean, these are totally trash. I mean, I use a lot of circles, so this is the inside of something and I'm like, oh, I can use that. Let me pull that. Let me see what that'll do. So I'm just going to kind of see if I can get some of this bits up. I just love to pull the bits and pieces of the paint up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do kind of a fun pull right now where I'm gonna just take some cherry pie and some blue Hawaiian, and then in the center I'm going to have that laid back lilac. Let's just see what we can get with this. I definitely prefer cooler colors than warmer colors as an artist. I've kind of learned that about myself. Okay, so let's just pull this and see what we can get. That's really cool. Really cool. And then I can just flip it over and pull it from this side as well. So much fun, you guys. Having a ball. That's fun. And see, it's so wet that it's leaving that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get that in the center and see if I can't pull that too. So it's so fun. Don't be afraid to go in with the same piece of paper over and over again and just get different types of pulls. So this is still wet a little bit up here. So I'm actually going to take some of my lilac ink and just pull it through on top of some of that paint. Then I'm going to take my water bottle and mist it. And then let's just see what happens here. If I can get any more of that paint up, just for fun. You never know what you're going to get. It's always a surprise. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Let's see if I can get some over here. No, not really. That's all right. So I'm just going to take and just do some strips like that. Let's just see what we can get. So I'm definitely, you know, mixing the paint and the ink, not at the same time. I'm not loving that entirely, so let me go ahead and just throw on, let's just throw on some of this sunshine yellow. Pure sunshine is what it's called. Let's see what we can get if we do this. I like the lines and things in that. And see, I went down already and pulled it up and kind of messed it up. That's okay. Not messed it up. Just wanted a little bit different than what I had anticipated, which is okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one alone for a second. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this. All right, and then let me throw on some green. And then I can show you guys real quick also how to use alcohol ink on this. Yes, you can use alcohol ink on a gel press plate. I do have a video for that, but I can show you also right now. All right, that is going to be a little bit too much. So I'm going to go around on this piece of paper, just pull a couple different slots like that to create some different kind of fun texture. Ooh, I like that. So don't be afraid to use your plate. You don't have to just set it on the same way. You can use the corner of the plate. You can use it however you want. So let me do some blue Hawaii on this. Little edge there. Edge there. Getting some fun, almost like abstract type stuff going on here, which is a lot of fun. All right, so let me show you how to throw some alcohol ink on this. Yes, you can use alcohol ink on your gel press plate and regular paper. You don't need anything special for this. Alcohol ink is really cool on a gel press plate because it takes a while for it to dry. So you're just going to take and just dab it out. I prefer to use colors that do not have any kind of sparkle in them, because once I start to add that sparkle, it takes longer to dry and I'll get a mix. And the mix isn't always like bad. It's just what I'm going for. I want more structure, I think, to what I'm trying to do, if that's the right word. And I am trying to keep in mind my color families, obviously, when I'm doing this. So I'm just laying this out, I'm going to pop on some, is that stream? I have a lot of stream. I do have a lot of stream. Okay. All right. Now from here, you're going to want to take paint to top it off as it dries. So what I like to do, and alcohol ink, also if you want to get your gel press plate nice and clean, alcohol ink in this technique is one way that you can do that. I don't necessarily like to clean my gel press paint, my gel press plate, but some people do. And so I don't use like those gel cleaners. Leaving paint on your gel press plate is not going to hurt it at all. I'm waiting for this to dry. It's still wet in some areas. So you can do this technique. The alcohol kind of lifts it up with the paint, and that's super, super cool. And if you can't get all of your paint lifted by doing this technique with alcohol ink and white paint, go ahead and take a piece of duct tape and place the duct tape all over your gel press, and then pull that duct tape up. You will get some really cool effects and some designs that you can use in your journal and things like that. Okay, we're almost dry. I have a little bit of wet spot still, but that's just going to kind of leak on through. Mix with the white paint, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm just gonna take and put some white paint down. You could do any color paint. I like white just because it blends beautifully and it kind of gives a really fun effect. And so as you can see, some of it is mixing in because the alcohol ink was not dry. The one beautiful thing about gel press plates is that they do manage to keep your medium wet longer. That's one of the benefits to it. So let's see what we get here. Voila! So there's some alcohol. That's how you can do it with alcohol ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this other piece of paper right here and just pull up the edges. And you know, this may not be the best pull on this. That's okay. You can totally take and just cut shapes out of it, or you can just keep applying, you know, gel press and things like, you know, some more ink on your gel press plate until you get the look that you're going for. I'm really, really liking that. Okay. So that's kind of fun. And then if I wanted to, I can go in and take my cantaloupe and then just press that over. So now I'm using an ink pad with alcohol ink that has been lifted with paint. So don't be afraid to mix your mediums. You can get some really, really cool look by mixing your mediums. I'm going to go ahead with some teal just right down the center like that. Go ahead and pull this through like so. That's really awesome. And then I'm going to finish off just with this, and I'm going to wet it down. And then we will call this play section good. So I'm going to place that. So you can just have fun and experiment with your gel press plate. You only need, and you know what, if you don't have copy paper, that's cool. Use notebook paper, use scratch paper. Some of the best pulls I've ever gotten have been on notebook paper. I love just that, the lines under it. I don't know why, but I just love how that peeks through. So just to recap, this we did with leftover alcohol ink with white paint and then the ink pads. This one was done with alcohol ink and white paint. That one was just done with some paint, just some lifting in some different areas of the gel press, not going directly on, but on the corners. And then, you know, this is ink and paint. And then that one is some paint. Embossing folders, things that you find on your desk with paint. Stencil. more found objects, and you see with the color family on that, we started to get some muddying because I put a cool tone, which is that dirty martini, over warm colors, and that creates mud if it's not dry. So that's a good example of that. And then this is just the ink on your gel press, and then just doing some really cool things with the pads by twisting to create some shapes as well as that. All right, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and you learned something. Just remember a couple basics. Keep your color families in mind. Keep your brayer on its back, not on its belly, because you don't want to ruin it. And don't worry if your gel press gets dirty or your plate gets dirty. I think it adds character to the plates, and I really love it when I can pull things in a couple weeks with paint that I had down that kind of pop through the art. I think that's so much fun. Have a wonderful evening. Make sure that you stay safe and well. Until next time, happy crafting.